Hey, Atma Namaste, everyone. Christian R. Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out from a Starbucks here in Lakewood, Colorado. Not too far from Denver, about 3 miles from Denver. And I want to appreciate you guys for giving me feedback on all the different videos and live streams that we do, the different topics that we talk about. And I love you reaching out to me and saying, hey, Christian, Amar Atma Namaste, saying, hey, Christian, can we cover this topic? Can we, can you talk more about this area? And the three main topics we talk about on these live streams is energy healing, meditation, and practical spirituality. Hey, Michelle, Atma Namaste. So those are the three main things that we talk about. And something has been very interesting since I was in Fairfield, Iowa, doing 2 months of intensive meditation and healing practices, then coming back to Denver, and I've been back for about 2 weeks. And some really, really fascinating things have been happening, and I want to share with you guys that might help you in your socializing and relating to other people. So this kind of ties into a request that somebody had about a stream, a topic that they wanted me to cover in a stream. So have you noticed, for those of you who are watching right now, if you have a spiritual practice, great. If you have a meditation practice, great. If you have a personal development practice, great. And how many of you have noticed that as you consciously and actively get on the path of personal and spiritual improvement, you have a tendency to lose a lot of people in your life? Have you ever noticed that? So you start having all these insights, all this new awareness around weaknesses, negative tendencies, maybe negative thoughts, limiting beliefs that you've had about yourself, you've had about other people, you've had about the world in general. And then as those awarenesses start happening, you start having different kinds of conversations with people, because more light is being brought into your life. It's raising your vibration. And then guess what? One of two things are going to happen. You are going to be a transformer or a catalyst for transformation for the people in your life, and they're going to go with you on the path, right? Or you're going to literally vibrate apart from one another. Hey, Jennifer, Atma Namaste. Beef, Atma Namaste. What's going on? I'm just making sure everyone's getting covered, okay? So isn't it interesting that that happens? So many people say, well, wait a minute, I don't understand. I'm doing all this inner work. I'm meditating daily, I'm doing inner reflection daily, I'm journaling daily, I'm trying to watch my thoughts, watch my words, watch my feelings, and I don't understand that I have all these blowouts and these conflicts and these issues with those closest to me, and these people have known me for years. What's happening? Because your vibration is changing because you're consciously doing things to become a better person. And that is changing your vibration, right? So you guys have heard the familiar term, like energy attracts like energy. So the two major energies that bind people to one another is love and hate. So the more you hate on somebody, the more you are going to be bonded to them energetically. That's why Master Choa Kok Sui, the founder of Pranic Healing and Hatha Yoga, says forgiveness is very, very important. Forgiveness is therapeutic. Because as you forgive somebody who you're angry with, that bond of hate is dissolving, dematerializing, and then you can both move on with your lives. The other factor that bonds us is love. So if you deeply, deeply love somebody and care about somebody in a healthy way, that is binding you to each other, right? Jason, keeping it real. Sveni, Atma Namaste. Good to have you guys on. Hope you're getting value out of today. Please put in comments. Please put in questions, because I definitely will look at them and do my best to answer them, and so everyone in the group can benefit. So I noticed, so this is what I want to share with you. So you guys know, been doing inner work for a long time, going on 19 years, and it ebbs and flows. Like you have a huge burst of a quantum leap in your development, and then you kind of taper off and peter out, and then you have another boost, right? But it's an upward spiral. So Master Choa taught me this many, many years ago. So evolution is an upward spiral. So if you imagine point A at the bottom, and then point B and then point C goes a little bit lower, but point C is still higher than A, and then you go up to point D. So it's like this. It's like an upward spiral. So we think that if we're having a down and out moment, if we've hit rock bottom in our lives, that we're no good, we're worthless, we're unworthy. We've taken, instead of taking 3 steps forward and 1 step back, we've taken 1 step forward and 10 steps back, and that's not accurate. It's like this, right? It's an upward spiral that we're always going from where we are to greater and greater levels of light, greater levels of awareness. But in between those points of light is darkness. It's a transition point. It's a transition realm from dark to bright, to dark to bright, to greater darkness to greater light, to greater darkness to greater light, to greater darkness to greater light. So I noticed in my own practice, because I'm always watching social media, because that's like a barometer that I use of who am I serving, who am I being an instrument for, who can I help, who can I share the teachings of my teacher, Master Choa, with them to transform their lives. And I noticed for a long time, for like 6 or 7 months, the followers that were part of my Facebook page stayed pretty consistent. I'd lose 1 or 2 here, I'd gain 1 or 2 there, I'd lose 1 or 2 here, I'd gain 1 or 2 there, right? It was pretty consistent for 6 months. In the past 3 weeks, I've lost over 60 followers in one portion of my Facebook. 60 followers, 60 people who at one point in time were interested in receiving the teachings of Master Choa. They were interested in receiving the energy that I had to provide for them. You know, I'm just a conduit for the teacher's teachings. I'm not the source of the teachings. I take no credit for the teachings. I'm just a conduit. And so I was talking with one of my friends and one of my mentors about it, and I go, this is horrible. This is the end of the world. I'm losing all of these followers. And I don't like the term followers because I'm nobody's guru. Just like Anthony Robbins created a documentary on Netflix that I'm not your guru. And I'm not anyone's guru. I'm simply doing the best I can to be a good representative of my teacher, Master Choa. So, 60 people within a 3-week period completely gone, just disappeared. And I was like, how is that possible? I've done so much inner work. I've done so much healing. I've done so much this, and this. That doesn't make sense. Until she reminded me of your vibration has considerably changed. So the people who were once connected to you were vibrating. There was a similar energy that you guys were all vibrating on together. That's why they were attracted to the message. As you change your vibration, and as they change their vibration, the connection is no longer there. So can't we look at that from a point of intimate relationships, professional relationships, co-worker dynamics, right? So isn't that fascinating? So you might be saying, so hold on, before you get all excited, you might be saying, so that's why everyone doesn't like me, because I'm super evolved and super developed, and that's why I lost this relationship, and that's why all these people are out of my life. Not necessarily. So let me give you an example of what was shared with me by one of the masters in pranic healing about 1.5 years ago at one of the retreats. He was saying, have you noticed when you do your meditation practice, it has a tendency to stir up the energy of other people, right? Because when you sit and you do very powerful and very advanced meditations, you're expanding your energy body. Your chakras are getting huge. Your aura is getting huge. And you become, you basically become like a fertilizer for everybody around you. So the good and the not so good that are in other people, it has a tendency to stir up their emotions, to stir up their thoughts, right? But the caveat to that is, if you're not doing an advanced meditation practice, you're not expanding your aura, you're not expanding your chakras, then that's not going to be fully accurate. It's just you have negative emotions and negative thoughts about other people that they're picking up on, tapping into, and that's why there's a repelling energy between you and the other person. Does that make sense? So that could be keep in mind there's many different factors of what brings us together and what pushes us apart. If you're noticing, I've been spending the last 6 months meditating, going to spiritual retreats, spiritual seminars, doing inner reflection, journaling, going to personal development workshops, reading books on spirituality, and I notice I keep losing friendships. I keep having disharmony in relationships. That could be a very good indicator that your vibration is increasing to such a point that the people who were once attracted to you, who were once connected to you, can no longer vibrate on the same level. Now, keep your pride in check. Very, very important, because what do we learn in the Bible? Pride cometh before the fall. So keep your pride in check. Just because people are not resonating with you or you're losing a bunch of followers, that's interesting, or because you're losing a bunch of followers, sorry guys, I had a text message come in, doesn't mean that you're super developed and super evolved. It means, most likely it means you're more developed and more evolved. So stay humble, recognize that the amount of insight that you can have is infinite. The amount of blessings that you can have is infinite. The amount of service that you could do for others and you have received is infinite. So stay humble, stay humble, stay humble. And by the way, I'm telling it to myself way more than I'm telling it to you guys. I'm just giving you a loving, gentle reminder of stay humble, and I'm being a little bit more severe with myself about staying humble. All right, so let me check out some of the comments that you guys put. Sorry, I just wanted to get the information out here. Okay, so comments. Amma Namaste, Rosemary. Jennifer, Amma Namaste. Hi, new friend. I definitely needed to hear this today. My pleasure. Yes, it was good that you and I connected on Facebook. I saw your message. Jennifer says, yep, my daughter left and moved in with her father about a year ago into studying MCKS's teachings. So that's an example. So this topic we could literally cover for hours. I'm not kidding you. But that's a big factor as you go into your spiritual work and your personal work in a really serious way, in a committed way, not in a airy-fairy, ungrounded, doing it when I feel like it and just seeing it as a hobby. But when you truly have a deep desire to transform your life, you are going to lose lots and lots of relationships. I've seen it over and over and over and over and over and over again over the past 19 years. I just have seen it. I've had so many people say to me, I don't understand it. This was my best friend for 10 years. Now she wants nothing to do with me. I don't understand it. You know, I had such a harmonious marriage or relationship and now it's gone. Or I thought here's one I've heard many times. I thought this whole spirituality thing was supposed to leave me with inner peace. And now all I do is have inner turmoil, conflict, arguments, disharmony. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense because you might not understand the mechanisms as to why it's happening. But keep in mind, you don't know, no one knows, unless it's the great ones, you don't know what kind of karma you planted in previous incarnations. So you don't know what seeds are deep within you that are becoming fertilized and activated within your system. It could be seeds of jealousy, it could be seeds of anger, it could be seeds of resentment, it could be seeds of poverty consciousness, it could be seeds of doubt, it could be seeds of any number of things. So spiritual energy is a fertilizer for those seeds. That's a huge factor as to why there's so much conflict and upheaval with people when they seriously get on the spiritual path. It doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean the other people are bad or the other people are wrong. It's a process of purification, and that purification to a high degree can take years, decades. Welcome to the spiritual path. That's what you can expect. You always have a choice not to practice the teachings. You always have a choice not to meditate, not to do energy healing or receive energy healing, not to do service, not to do tithing, not to do any of it. But if you're truly seriously committed to your spiritual development, you are going to have to fall in line with the divine plan. You have free will to do whatever you want, however you want, whenever you want. But if you want to rapidly and properly evolve, you are going to have to show up differently. So, Jason says, when I hit rock bottom, I found my true self. Perfect. When he hit rock bottom, which means he surrendered, which means he was super conductive and super receptive to his higher soul, to his inner teacher, and to God. Stephanie, Atma Namaste. Heather, Atma Namaste.